open on my phone.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
That's a great idea.
There you go. I don't have to add anything else today.
Log it
You
out.
have contributed.
I'm gonna mail this one in.
I already took my shoes
phone it
off,
in,
so
mail it
it's
in.
pretty much over.
Not going anywhere now.
I thought we were going for the classic. Jamie says we're going live, and everybody stops talking.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
And
been
we're
trying to
alive.
stop doing that. We're live. Oh
We're
god.
being
Shh.
incredibly chatty for like 10 minutes, and then we go live, and then everybody
It's
just
true.
nope, nothing. Oh no, has anybody seen Batman?
I did see a movie this weekend.
What did you?
Mhm.
Oh, what did you see?
What was it, Jamie?
John Wick.
The most contextually appropriate movie that I could have seen this weekend.
Ooh, I want
The
to see
Dungeons
that.
and
Dragons?
Dragons movies.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. I watched
So good.
Cocaine Bear for a second time this week.
for a second time.
Awesome.
I went to
Was
see
the
that
second
movie.
viewing an improvement?
It was a new group of people that I took, and so
Mhm.
yeah, like if I'm going to the movies to watch a horror movie, I like to be selective about who I bring with me because they're usually more entertaining than the movie itself.
Right?
Their reactions. And so I took a couple of like genuine scaredy cats, and it was great. But it is a horror comedy, so they laughed a lot too, which was affirming.
It's like
Then I told them about Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is what we're going to watch next.
it's like a
Nice.
combo
Nice.
between like Cujo and Benji, right? Like Cocaine Bear.
It's exactly what
With
as
bears.
described on the 10. It's phenomenal. Highly recommend.
Have to give it a shot.
Well, you're talking about D&D, I'm assuming, Jamie.
Yes.
I've had multiple people go see it who do play and don't play, and everyone across the board has come back and said, "Yeah, I'll give it like 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10." So across the board, everybody's giving it pretty high praise.
hmm
And I did hear, of course, it's the internet, and it's 2 years from the possibility that may come out that they're going to do a second one with Driss Jordan. So we will see. And they're also talking about getting away from Forgotten Realms or doing things in addition to Forgotten Realms. So
Yeah, I mean,
So
there's
I'm
I,
on board.
I have a philosophical question about this movie because I was talking to the kids about this, and based on what you just said, Matt, which is that people that go and see it that don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, they still have a good time. Like it's an enjoyable film, and everybody should go watch it. It's just a fun fantasy romp. Would it have done better if it did not have the Dungeons and Dragons prefix? If it was just called Honor Among Thieves and it was a fantasy movie and it just happened to be set in the Dungeons and Dragons setting? Do you think more people would have gone to go see it? Discuss.
I would say that's hard to determine because everybody's going to everything. Everything's. I feel like there's a slide toward fantasy and sci-fi these days, which I'm delighted about. So I don't know
Oh, me too.
if it just shows that it was a fantasy flick, and if it did or didn't have Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if more people have gone, but I think the fact that it has Dungeons and Dragons with it, it's like a role-playing kind of movie. It's kickstarted like the world around Dungeons and Dragons. Like CRPGs are picking up, like all these different things because the name Dungeons and Dragons is attached to it. Adjacent things that aren't even D&D related are being boosted because people are now interested in that kind of thing. So to answer your question, I don't know, but I think it really helped the whole genre, the whole weird sphere.
Shtick.
Shtick. Yes.
Okay.
The whole word.
the whole word.
I believe the term you're looking for is John, according to the class canon.
The whole John.
The whole John.
Unnecessarily truncated words are routinely entertaining. Especially when you're just chopping off a syllable of something.
Is Cowart here? Yes. Cowart is here. So, Cowart, you may have noticed that my brother looks different
Sorry,
It has a different
Mike
name.
just fired up the jazz.
and a different character. I'm going to introduce you to Cowart because Cowart is our best fan and really legitimately our only fan. Cowart is Atkins. Atkins is Cowart. He's in the Twitch chat.
Oh, I do not have Twitch open, but
Okay.
so long as
Cowart.
he's listening, I can say hey and he can hear.
You have been
Yeah.
with us since like maybe not the first episode, but second or third, and every one since, haven't you? I can't remember exactly. It's been 2 years, but You've been here since the beginning for sure.
Yeah, Cowart. I think it was within a handful. I don't remember if we asked Cowart, how did you find us? Did you stumble on the stream, or did you hear about it somewhere? And we wait for the Twitch delay.
Yeah, right.
We wait for it to find the keys.
Like it could have been a back
It was
patio
just-
connection
Yeah.
or a Rocks and Runelords connection.
Yeah, that's what I was curious.
He was hiding out in Jamie's front garden, and he looked through the window and he saw, "What is that Jamie's doing?"
Okay, he came through. He was listening to Rocks and Runelords.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
And you're on this, yeah.
Cowart provided us with our first fan art, I do believe.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that
Classic.
hidden somewhere in the Discord?
Fan art, Cowart.
Yep.
Or Cowart fan art? Cowart fan art.
You know, that's a great segue for fan art. Is the map up on Twitch? Can you bring the map up
I
on
can
Twitch?
bring the map up.
Just,
Bring the map up.
just not to really get started yet.
Oh no! Hold on.
Oh,
Haha, just kidding.
I don't want it.
Dramatic.
He already broke it.
I hit the we're leaving button.
No.
So we have new art. Behold, Alma. This is the one you really liked the most, wasn't it, Rachel?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
I love that one,
also
yeah.
also that is now your token. If you'll take a look down over the Drunken Morkoth, you'll see that Alma
Ooh.
is now represented by that token. Yeah, fancy.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hold on, Farazan's in the way. At some point, I tried to change Farazan's token, but oh my god!
No!
Oh Lord!
Zoomed
Little
way
warning
in.
next
She's
time.
taking over the city.
Somebody didn't wish for the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. They wished for Alma as the destructor.
Oh no, this isn't doing anything for my street cred.
I walked into a
it
door,
is. Your
kids.
street cred is off the charts right now. in
Jesus
this town.
Christ.
That's great. That's great. Oh man!
I gotta finish my coffee before we really get started. So I'm
Coffee.
Yeah.
It's what? It's 9:10.
I just finished mine.
Don't
I
judge
don't
him.
understand your statement.
Yeah, don't judge.
I mean, if it doesn't mean anything, then it doesn't mean anything.
Matt's
Well,
on Southern time.
This is
Real
next.
Southern.
So
Soda. Yep. Okay.
that's my only ean anymore. No more nicotine. So it is only caffeine.
Good for you.
That's what I've been told.
Are you? Is this a new deal? Are you just into this, or have you been off nicotine for a while?
I mean, I never was a big smoker, right? I would, if I went out to drink, I'd have one or two per beer. I
That's
stopped.
PAX, folks.
Yeah, right. Thanks. I started limiting that, and I never smoked outside of that. So I never have considered myself a smoker, right? So I stopped doing that, or at least limiting it to a little bit. And then I would if I'd go out, I'd bum one, and now I'm down to the point where I just don't anymore. And it's been about 6 weeks. And I've probably had a pack, so as opposed to a pack every 2 weeks or something like that. So, it's a process. I wasn't trying to just change the world in a day, but I don't kill myself. I don't kick my own butt if I happen to just have a cigarette, but I really don't anymore.
Hmm.
It's cool. I think
I've
it's
quit
because
3
of my
times. I'm real good at it.
You're practicing.
Well, I mean, I started when I was in high school, on and off since then. So,
I quit before I even started. My great grandmother smoked every day of her life from the time she was, I think, 12 until 2 years before she passed. But we were on the way to church one day, and she was sitting in the front seat, and she extinguished one of her cigarettes in a Coke can They're sitting
Really?
in a cup holder,
Mm.
and so I was crawling out of the back of the van. I looked at, ooh, a Sprite, and
Oh.
yep, yep.
And next, ooh, vomit.
I-
Just like talking and vomit's just drooling down. Like, this
So
is awful.
gross.
So let's just say, yeah, that's the only time I've ever had nicotine directly.
That'll
So-
put you off forever.
Yeah,
I
I will.
used to hang out with a buddy. He passed away a couple of years, well, a long time ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago. But he was a dipper,
Yeah.
and tobacco ash in a beer is one thing. Saliva with tobacco in it in a beer, it's a whole different conversation and a
I've done that before.
reevaluation of what is a friend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the worst.
yeah. Usually the smell, like you can like spit in tobacco, you know. But
Hard pass.
yeah, luckily it wasn't like a whole. Anyway, it was bad.
Nasty.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been a couple weeks. What, 2 weeks? We played 2 weeks ago. Somebody tell me what happened. Bring us up to date, because Atkins is new, but he's been catching up with the YouTube or the podcast, and probably hasn't gotten to this point. We did do a rehash last week, which was
You did, and Jamie sent it to me, but I still haven't sat down to watch it. So
that's all right. Let's just do
Try.
like the last couple of episodes. Like what's going on now? Like since you got back to Cauldron, let's bring him up to that point, and then we'll talk about
Recap of a
Atkins.
recap.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. A very brief, short rundown to kind of give the feeling of the town, what's going on, because there is an air in the town now, right? There's this
Yeah.
tension, and you saw the flyer for the group meeting in front of the courthouse and all that stuff. So let's hear it from the player's perspective. And go. Anybody? It's okay.
Okay.
Raise your
We left town to go and find a dwarf that had become estranged from his cursed parent. And when we found him and brought him back into town, things in town were a bit tense. The taxes have been going up steadily over time. A lot of the guards have been replaced or augmented with half-orcs, to the point where most of the guards seems to be half-orcs. Run around town with tax collectors, gathering money. Businesses have started to close. People are very upset. There is going to be some kind of protest in front of one of the official buildings. There's going to be a protest, and we have been asked to be present in case things go pear-shaped. Does that sum it up reasonably well?
Yep.
And we found out the last time that we played, we found out that the last laugh might be connected to Tarathiel's past, and they have his daughter.
Yes. And
Which
there
was a
some-
revelation for some people that he even has a daughter, but
Yeah.
the last laugh has it.
It was Shinsen who brought you the information through her connections with the Striders of Farlon. And she also dropped some pretty heavy information about another group called the
Cage Rights.
Right? Okay. Can you remember what that
Oh,
was
yeah.
about?
The Cage Rights were, I think they were the group that were kidnapping people over time, and then were they the ones that were selling them off?
Nope.
No. Okay.
They were collecting them.
They're trying to bring back the no, not the Ebon Triad. They are worshiping the plane of
Parsarai.
that's the one. That's what I said.
Right. Yeah.
And they're trying to bring
The prison
back
plane.
Prison plane.
bring back somebody, right?
They're not. I mean, they're not worshiping the plane.
Mm-hmm.
They're worshiping something that's connected to the plane or the power that the plane can bring them. But
Okay.
yeah, Carcerai.
They
What was-
were collecting people that had some kind of magical mark on their face
Yes.
that's not normally visible.
Which you found on Zenith.
On the dwarf.
Splinter Shield, yeah.
Blacklight.
Kind
Yes,
of.
exactly.
Yeah, they could only see it when you cast Detect Magic. So
It's
it
high
was,
fantasy after all. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Why
What
isn't
you
Blacklight
know
a
is
spell? That's
they were
so
looking
obvious.
for
You don't want to get blacklight spell in D&D, brother.
Detect bodily fluids? Is that what you're
Yeah.
casting?
No,
You know,
no.
I want to say there was a blacklight spell, like second edition or something. Like you could see in the dark, or you cast it and nobody could see in the dark. But I don't know. It was something weird.
If
But
so, it was just the one time and not for long.
yeah. So the thing about the cage rights, though, is they were looking for a specific number of people, and they had been doing so for a long time. Like there was trouble finding these people. I mean, one was down in the Underdark in a Baal Mahatan temple worshipped by Kuato. I mean, really distant, really weird group of people, and now they have all of them. So what's going to happen next is kind of unsure, but it can't be good, is the basic thought from the Striders. And then
It was a vengeance devil. She sucked.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
it's so it's still the same afternoon. Shinsen, she stuck around and ate some dinner with you, and then she took off. She had some other things to do, and she had to go do some more clandestine things and practice some more at being a spy, because she was really awful at it.
Yeah, we had this really awkward conversation where she was psychically connected to a bunch of people, and then we were psychically connected to her through Tarathiel.
It was a mess.
And it was like she was like, "I'm on the phone."
Yeah.
And like kept,
Yeah, it's like trying to coordinate dinner with two different families when you're speaking to two different people on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good fun. Good times.
No.
So let's
Good time? Just the
shift over to Mr. Adkins.
Yes, sir.
We briefly discussed where you had been and what had happened. Do you remember what we talked about?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give us an idea? Like, give us a rundown, maybe a little bit about who you're playing, or however you want to bring this out. Let's see what
Sure. So basically, the notes that I was given, the notes that I pitched was I had spent some unexpected and undesired time in the Underdark for various reasons, and Matt suggested that I come out and find myself at that what was it, Tuacoan or something like that temple.
Kuatoan.
Yeah, there we go, and follow some footprints and see the surface world for the first time in years. And so I kind of sneakily follow supposedly your group out of the Underdark after having been there for an undisclosed amount of time doing undisclosed things.
So a key to your escape was the fact that you had this racking mind attack, this headache, and all your captors were killed.
Right. And I was kind of stashed a little back away from where the captors kind of congregated. And so whatever happened to them, I felt the effects of, but I wasn't sidelined or killed by it as they were. And so it took me a little while to escape the hewn cave that they had kept me in, this makeshift kind of cage. But I did. I managed to kind of fingernail file my way out of there basically over the course of a couple of days.
And you followed the party, essentially. Tracked them back to the entrance, the mall into the Underdark. And
I don't know how that's
Essentially-
possible. We're very quiet.
I'm probably
And
quieter.
observant.
quieter than most, for sure.
Very sneaky and very perceptive, especially in the dark. My years spent in the Underdark have affected my abilities to see in particular, and even be seen, which is fun.
So everybody, we're pretty open about what we're playing. What character class are you playing?
I'm multi-classed, and I was talking to Adam about this. So you guys have been playing with your characters since level 1. Not me. I'm jumping in at level 9. So I told him I'm going to feel like Joe Dirt when he was working the oil rig, and he's doing everything wrong. The oil's going everywhere, and he's just like, "I'm new. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing." But I did. I multi-classed. I am a few levels in monk and a few levels in ranger.
So 2 classes we don't have, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
And
Totally by accident. So
what is your monk archetype? What's your monk's
I am
subclass?
I am a Way of the Shadow monk.
Okay. And your ranger subclass?
Gloomstalker.
Yeah.
Woo.
It's a neat
So
combination.
fancy.
I was looking at what you can do, and it's
It's
I'm
kind
interested.
of dumb. I was amazed that they agreed with it.
I think it's
Part of me
great.
was like, if I were a DM and somebody was like, I want to play at your table with this, I'd have been like, maybe not. But
What? They both like shadow and shadow. I mean, it just works really well together.
yeah. I mean, it's some cool synergies. It's two subclasses that I've never played with ever. So I mean, I'm really jumping into the deep end of new stuff with Spectro.
And this character's name is
Cool.
Spectro.
Yeah, and he's a ghost-wise halfling. He's a minute dude who looks up to the giant in your ranks.
And we have a token for him as well, but we're not releasing that until he joins the party. So hold your breath. We'll be back next week. All right.
I can't hold my breath that long.
Spectro
God.
has essentially shadowed you guys back to Cauldron. We're gonna hang a lantern on this. We're gonna suspend a little disbelief. We're gonna get you into the party as quickly as possible because I don't want to spend a lot of time trying to do that. Like I do want to roleplay it into it, but I don't want to have to say, okay, you sneak around this road and you go down this road, blah blah blah.
Sure,
No.
sure. Makes for thrilling audio.
It really does, and it really speeds the story along. So, Spectro, you realize as you're following this group, and again, like Fairzon or Jamie said, they're not a quiet crowd. One of them you notice that you don't notice quite often, but the rest of them are pretty loud, and they're just hard to miss. And the trailing them was no problem, and you quickly realize they're heading to Cauldron. You don't know what Cauldron is at the time, but you see they're heading towards this volcano. It's on a worn road. You actually have to hide from certain caravans or because there's a lot of merchants, and it's a good on the road because you're on foot and you're trying to keep up with them. But you're also, it's one thing, you got some movement, man. You
I am
can
a
move.
fast little bugger.
Yeah.
I'm a halfling who I have my standard speed is 50 feet as a half but in the first round of combat I get an extra 10, so I'm 60 feet of movement on round one in combat.
With a move, with one move action.
With one move,
first-
yeah.
yeah.
And Matt let me fly for reasons I can't fathom. So that's gonna be fun later.
So you're actually keeping up with them. They don't have horses because the horses they have turned into meat for what they can only assume was a bigger red dragon. So they do get back to Cauldron and following them up the side of the hill, side of the mountain. You see them. You see them talking to the guard, and the guards just kind of wave them in. But then they step in front again, and you have no problem hiding from these guys because they don't really care in the first place, and you are that kind of guy. You can just kind of move in. You get into Cauldron, and they kind of split their separate ways, and they're also the whole time they've got a dwarf, an older dwarf, no armor and shackled. So they've got a prisoner of some kind, and they take him off one way, and one or two of the others go a different way, and they split up. You get into the town, and passing the guards, you hear them just chattering, and you get the idea that there's something big coming up. There's some sort of event in town, like a bunch of people are going to be joining up tomorrow. Well, at this point, it's been a while. So I forgot. We've been through a couple of months at this point. So you've been in town for a while. You've seen these guys, and these guys.
Metro has.
Yes, you have now been in
Okay.
town for a while because when they got back, we have spent months because we did a vignette, and they took 3 months of downtime.
Oh,
So you've
gotcha.
had 3 months to explore the town. These four people are heroes of the town.
They seem
and-
important.
Yeah, they're superstars. You hear their name. You hear the name Alma a lot in passing, usually in bars, and it's a matter of awe and awe in her power and awe in her beauty at the same time. She's
Go
a
to
big name.
go to bed, or Alma will get you.
Yeah, right. Exactly. the thing about at least in my game in Greyhawk, adventurers are like superstars. I mean, they walk into a town and everybody's like, "Oh my god, they're adventurers!" And if they're really good adventurers, it's like, "Holy crap!" Guns N' Roses just walked into town, or something like that. You know, the bigger the name, the bigger. Hey, so Guns N' Roses was a band.
Oh no!
What's really funny is
so
I saw,
begins the dating.
I saw right. I saw a thing today, and it said, you know, you can what is it? When discussing mansplaining, you say, so mansplaining is when a man explains. You know, anyway. So you know what I mean? It's like the biggest name in town comes around. So these guys are superstars, and they draw an audience, and they are given deferred special treatment, and they've done a lot of things for the town. And in this time that you've had over the last couple of months, you've had a chance to approach them. But you've also heard about their exploits.
You wouldn't even see me.
Yeah, right.
You tall freak.
Yeah, you're about shin level to him.
Yeah. I'm a wee little man. I'm like 3 foot tall. You might have tried to step on me accidentally.
Oh my god, what was that?
I had to pull myself out from underneath your boot a time or two.
No doubt.
They've saved orphans. They've saved the town from flooding. They've defeated liches and vampires. Like you don't have to really even try to find out who these people are, because they've become kind of a city legend. But one thing you do get for sure is they are good people. Like, they're good guys. You don't hear anything bad about their exploits. Everything they've done is been on the up and up, and you know, kind and giving and things like that. So fast forward, you know that they stay at the Drunken Morkoth most of the time. You could have easily shadowed somebody back to where they spend a real majority of their time, which I have on the map in the top right corner, lovingly placed the murder basement. If you want
Yeah, I saw that.
to see that.
Murder dungeon.
The murder dungeon. Is that what I put?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The murder dungeon. Just on the offside of the map. You've trailed them. You know that it's their secret lair outside of Cauldron. They go there sometimes. They stay in the Morkoth a lot because it's just more convenient. But it is this specific evening, and it's kind of one of the few evenings that they really all get together at the Drunken Morkoth, and you gonna say you just at this particular night you had an interest in them, and they just finished speaking with a drow elf, a dark elf, and she leaves, and they're sitting
With
around
a
a table.
drow?
And they're sitting around.
Don't
Just-
relitigate that argument.
Dun, dun, dun.
They're just sitting around discussing things, and they've got a flyer in their hand that they're looking at, and I'm going to let you take over from here. Like I said, we're gonna assume that you want to be with the group. You know,
Sure.
we're gonna push this group together. Okay.
So, Spetro, are you guys like standing at the bar, seated somewhere? What's the deal? Give me my spatial cues.
I think we were sitting at a table with Shinsen. Shinsen would have just left, or would have left recently, so there'll be an empty seat at the table. But we're all connected psychically, so we're probably having a conversation without any words while we eat.
They're just staring at each other.
Then I don't get the idea that I'm interrupting anything. I just waltz right up.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And whoever is seated on the outside, like I'm a table or booth, whoever I'm closest to, I'm just going to kind of tug at the hem. We'll say it's Tarathiel's, whatever you wear on your lower half. You just
Okay.
feel a couple of short little tugs, and you look down, and before you is a very short. I mean, it's a halfling, but he's extremely pale. It looks like he has seen better days physically, as far as nourishment and maybe even strength goes. He's got some telltale signs of recent captivity, like some fresh wounds around the wrists, and he walks up, he tugs on your trousers, and he wants to know what business you had with a drow, and he asks it very flatly and matter of factly, and almost a little aggressively.
It's alright. I think Tarathiel's initial reaction to having somebody sneak up and touch him would be to like pull back and just use a psychic dagger in one hand already. What?
Have that effect on people.
Ah!
Mike does. Spetro probably also.
It's a Mike thing.
Yeah.
We who are you?
My name is Spetro. You can call me Spetro. I've heard about each of you in turn.
Are you from the orphanage, little one?
No. I wish.
Oh wait, no,
though
he's smart.
I do have much in common with the orphans currently. But I ask again, what business did you have with the drow? Why was it a she, Matt?
Yes.
So why was she allowed to walk out of this establishment alive?
She's a friend. She's helped us in the past.
A friendly drow?
People don't. We don't kill people just because of how they were born.
Well, much must have changed while I was in the Underdark. And then this city, Cauldron, is the most of the world that I've seen in my entire life. And so my eyes have been open to much, but a friendly drow, it sounds like an oxymoron from where I'm from. And based on what I've done.
It's probably been a couple of editions since you've been underground.
Bad Mike. So Farazan looks down. He's kind of looks over, leans over the table a little bit. He says, "How long have you been above ground?"
Since emerging, a couple of months since you guys yourselves last emerged from the Underdark.
How did you know we were in the Underdark? And when we came out?
I didn't know who was there. I just, I'd been held captive for a while, and my captors fell victim to something incredible, and I was lucky to not be subject to their same fates. And as soon as I emerged, I found footprints and followed them, and came out near this city and managed to tail you guys all the way here.
So you know no one in the city?
No.
And he will reach under the table with his foot and kind of kick the chair out. He says, "You seem to have had a rough journey. Why don't you sit and have a bite, or a drink, or whatever it is that you eat?"
And someone said that he had like visible wounds of captivity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I was going to interject and ask, like push my kind of bowl of stew over toward him and see if I could maybe heal him. Ask him if he's feeling okay.
Image of Shinsen just popped up on the map.
Ooh.
I've certainly seen better days, and thankfully, since emerging from the Underdark after a long time, those days have been progressively better. But I still believe I've got better days ahead. I must, because of the severity of the days that now lie behind.
Does he take Alma's stew?
Yeah, he scrambles up. He has to like mount this chair.
And
He's
the
gotta,
lady,
We get a smaller chair to go on top of the big chair.
So just don't ask.
A
Just don't bring him a
booster seat.
booster seat. No. He'll be
Well,
he'll be thoroughly embarrassed.
So there are, this is a world of different kind of races: bigger, smaller dwarves, halflings, gnomes, Goliaths. So this establishment is kind of geared towards different sizes. The city itself is fairly human-centric, like 98%. But this particular, the Drunken Morthkoff seems a little more progressive. I hate to use the word, but there are chairs and cosmopolitan. because this is where most of the adventurers come through, right? And adventurers they're the ones that come in all sizes, so they have all kinds of seating and table. There's shorter tables and larger tables, so there is a chair that's not like a booster available for you. And Nalini, I don't know if you've heard about Nalini through listening to some of the older episodes, but Nalini, she is this ditzy kind of blonde. So another thing about the region of Cauldron is this is more of like South American, like darker skin, darker hair, darker eyes. Nalini is a total Aryan, blonde hair, blue eyes.
No. Blonde hair or blonde eyes, blue eyes.
And she moves with a weird butterfly grace where she bounces between tables, and she just always seems to have the right drink at the right time and never drops anything. She bounces over and she pulls over a chair and spins it around for you and says, "Hello, can I get you something?"
I'm like, I'll eat what's free for now.
It's on us.
Yeah, it's on us.
Then it's all free.
Do you have any kind of meat?
Well, yes. Where's Khaldun? He always eats meat. And she flutters off and she leaves for the moment.
Farazan reaches over and and takes the red coaster that's in front of Spectra and he flips it over to the green side. There you go, buddy. This must be your first time.
If you, as soon as food is kind of pushed in front of him, I mean, he doesn't like attack it, but you also get the sense that he's not fully. He hasn't had a meal like this, and he said that he's been out of the Underdark and released from captivity for a while, but you get the sense that he hasn't eaten like this even since then. Like he might have been basically kind of scrounging his way through scraps, possibly throughout the city, or handouts where he could get them. So this is the Ritz.
So,
For sure.
so I hate to do this to a PC, but Matt, can I do the know your enemy thing?
Of course.
I just want to know current hit points and total class levels.
For me,
Yeah.
So hang on, before you say anything, let's reread that because I think I misunderstood you once. You get to know if it's higher or lower, not specific.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
All right.
You're right. It's
So let's reread it and see what that
ooh,
says.
Jamie's cheating.
Jamie's
easy.
forgetting.
Yeah,
The DM tells you if the creature is your equal, superior, or inferior in regards to two of the following, and I'm looking for current hit points and total class levels, and my current hit points are 85 and
Whoa.
9 level.
So
9.
you Atkins, you just tell him if it's higher or lower, or the same.
Yeah. So you're asking levels and then HP.
Yeah, current hit points.
Yep.
Okay, levels same.
Yep.
Hit points lower.
Okay. So because it's relative to me, that wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but I was looking for kind of health condition there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I offered to heal if you need it.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I interrupted
wasn't
probably.
Yeah, I was too busy stuffing my face. But yeah, if you offer healing, I mean, you could tell they're not healing well. I mean, they're not like festering wounds or anything, but it's pretty.
More just scarring.
Yeah.
So with
Raphael's
magical,
counting fingers and holding a dagger of venom under the table.
so with magical healing, you like what's going on with Spectro is more like malnourishment, not like loss of hit points. I could even say like a level exhaustion. I don't want to go that far, but if you were to use magical healing on him, it would basically fix the scar. Like it would clean the scarring up. He's not down hit points per se, but
Yeah.
using magical hit points in somebody that's got like permanent injuries and whatnot that aren't like missing a hand because there's spells for that, you could just
poor
kind of
Raphael.
clean up his damage.
Okay,
You know
that's what I want to do then. Just whatever I can do to kind of make him more like comfortable as far as outside of feeding him.
So do you have to like touch me to do this?
Well, it's whatever you want. If you're not comfortable with the touch, I don't have to do that.
I mean, I mean, how do you offer it, or do you just do the thing? Do you just grab his hand? Do you speak words and it just fixes?
I offer it, and I'll offer it, and I will reach out my hand, and if like, because I know that some people, whenever they're traumatized by captivity, they don't want to be touched. If it's something that you don't want to be touched, then I will not touch you. But I'll reach out my hand either way.
Sure, I
That's how you
think
do
that
consent, kids.
right. I think if you reach out to him, he's heard enough. Even Matt pointed out specifically a lot about you. So of the party, probably he's more open to movements that you might make towards him. And so as he does pause his eating while you reach out and touch his hands, and you're DMing that the scars just kind of fade away or grow lighter, Matt.
Yeah, they just like if you have old scars from shackles, they just smooth out back to normal skin. It would be like somebody that had like a skin graft that just returns back to regular skin.
Gotcha.
That kind of thing.
In that case, he kind of, when you do it, he's turning his hands over. I can't quite do that. I had surgery on one of my arms. So he's turning them over. He's looking at his wrist and he's rubbing, and he looks up at you, and his eyes say thank you a lot more than the words thank you do coming from his mouth. Like, you still get the sense that he's kind of gruff and not emotive when he can be reserved, but it's hard to restrain eyeballs. You know what I mean?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Back here.
Yeah, I'll give a nod as in understanding. Just like, you're good, you're safe.
And he just goes back to what you push stew in front of him. He's still waiting on his meat.
Yeah, I'm a vegetarian, so it is just veggie stew. So you're welcome to wait.
But after just while this is happening towards the end, as you're looking at your hand and you're looking at her, Lady floats on back by and she sets down a plate full of meat, and it's barely cooked. And she sets down just an ale, and she just floats off again.
I don't think Spetro pauses much at undercooked meat right now. I think that he's just relishing having anything close to a partially satiated belly.
And you guys recognize that this is how Khaldun has been eating his food all along, just like a New York seer, like sent out, like mostly. So she basically brought him what Khaldun.
She brought me the Khaldun special.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Pittsburgh rare.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Did y'all ever see many moons ago? There was a mini series called The 10th Kingdom. I don't know if it was ever released in theater, but it was a two VHS cassette thing that Alicia had. And there's a character who's the big bad wolf in human form, and he's in a restaurant and they say, "What would you like to eat?" He's like, "Bring me a steak, rare." And he's like, "No. Bring the cow in, let it look at the grill, scream in terror, and then bring it out." So yeah. So yeah, that's what I always think of when somebody says a rare steak. Have it scream in terror and then bring it out.
That's right.
Jeez.
Well, there was a movie that was called, or is called, The Cowboy Way, and the way he described he wanted his steak was knock the horns off and wipe its ass.
There you go.
Gross.
There you go.
You don't want a dirty steak. So, as Spetro is still, he's not the most polished when it comes to manners, and so as he's still polishing off the stew, and he's got like a cheek full of stew and a cheek full of this rare meat, he's still going to kind of cut his eyes and kind of look over each of you and ask, so again, what gives with the drow? Like, what was her business?
She was telling us that there is something that may be of some concern to the town. There is to be a protest, Matt?
Yeah.
So,
Gathering, protest, yeah.
Gathering.
A gathering of people that are concerned with the policies that have been dictated to them by the leadership of the town. Yes, Matt?
Well, I was going to say, I'll read you the notice.
Okay.
What? Go ahead, finish up.
Hold on. I think I have this flyer that will explain it.
People are mad about their taxes.
It's a notice. It's on, it's just on scratch paper, but it has been printed out, which seems to think it costs a lot of money. Citizens of Cauldron, let your voice be heard. Come one, come all to the city hall this evening. And it has a date, which is tomorrow's date. Those in power must learn that we do not welcome their indulgences. Their vices shall be borne by our pockets, no more. The tax collectors are the lapdogs of their greed. Let not their shadows besmirch our stoops. Speak your will, voice your pains. Help us return Cauldron to her children.
Sounds peaceful.
I'm sure that's going to go really well.
That's why they want us to show up, I guess.
You seem
Mike, you just got
really
really loud.
Really loud.
Yeah,
Did I? Why?
I don't know. It just got really loud, though.
Hello?
There we go. Perfect.
Testing.
Class trait of
3, 2, 1.
Mike's.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm going to have to get used to that.
It is in my bloodline. Yep.
Go ahead.
You
Sorry.
seem like you could slip through a crowd undetected. Maybe we could use that.
Or
If
did
you're
you
up for
notice
it.
me before I tugged on your trousers?
You said you've been following us for a month.
More than that, yeah.
Months. Yeah.
Didn't see you at all.
What do you need?
I don't know. We can kind of play it by ear once we get there.
What
Is
sort
there-
of what sort of skills do you have? I can tell that you are capable, but I don't know what you are good at.
Well, to be honest, I don't function super well in the light. At least not. I am at my best in the dark, whether I create it or the environment itself just is. Be it by sunset or by being underground, like I have been for some time. But I'm not without the ability to move quickly, move quietly.
And how are you at a fight?
It's been a while, but
Arm wrestle Fezan, go.
I'm down. You want to roll it?
Do it.
If you want to roll it, let's do it.
PC fight.
If you want to beat a
Come on.
malnourished halfling in a feat of strength, just to
Yeah, do you
pat
feel
yourself on
better
your
now?
Goliath back, you go for it.
No, not here. The food is here. Over there, maybe.
A likely excuse.
In the dark
Oh,
corner.
you're saying take it to another table, not don't do it at all.
Oh,
I got you.
no.
I don't know. There's no need for such displays. I will take your word for it. I can tell that even though you may haven't done it in a while, you do have the skills.
Well, my captors were dumb enough to keep all of my stuff handy, so
Oh, they were not.
they were. I'm not unarmed.
Is what? Hey, do we have spare equipment? I think most of everything we've sold off if we're not using it, right?
I don't remember you guys selling hardly anything. Because the only person that would really buy it would have been Sky.
Yeah.
And
She's
You- yeah, and whenever you go see her, you would always buy stuff, not sell stuff.
Yeah.
And now that she's closed her doors and moved to Sassarine, you're not quite sure where's the best place.
Well, I've got a few things of my own and a few things of theirs. You know, they were dead, so they were not using them anymore.
been there.
So the conversation's going on for a couple hours. You guys are talking, getting to know each other.
Mhm.
Alma, you notice out the front door, the board where people leave notices for people for jobs and whatnot, trying to communicate. You notice Jackery, the sergeant. Do you remember who Jackery is?
The sergeant.
Yeah.
The sergeant?
Yeah, well, the one that was sent out to patrol near the
Hookface?
the dragon that you
Hookface, yeah.
and that
Oh,
you
yeah.
brought back. You brought him back, and you also discussed with him some time ago about, you were going to try to hire him to give you information about the guard, and he was like, I don't think I want to do that, but if something weird happens or something comes up, I'll let you know. We see him, Alma. You notice him. He's out front. He's tacked a little something on the thing, and he's scribbling on it, and he just does kind of not really an about face, but he finishes up and he heads down the street.
Kill it.
And he was not in his he wasn't in his guard outfit. And it's getting later. It's it's pushing dinner time, right? Like 6, 7. It's getting dark outside. And this is in the middle of winter. It's been a couple of months, so it's dark early. So by like 2 o'clock, because of the height of the buildings and all that sun angular stuff, it's dark. 2 or 3 o'clock, it's dark, and it is cold weather time. So going outside, except for Farazan, you are bundled up, with your winter clothing. And that's what he was. He was bundled up. You just happened to recognize him. Nobody else did, but you're you are a radar, and you have this static ability to notice everything.
Okay, I want to go check it out.
You hop up. You guys see Helma hop up. She walks out. You walk over. Look at the sheet, and it's essentially like, hey guys, I need to talk to you, Jackery. He doesn't say to who or anything like that, but that's pretty much all he puts. Kind of trying to be sneaky, but
Yeah, I can assume.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, he's already, like, walked off and gone.
barely. I mean, you noticed him leaving. You hopped up. He's just down the road. You could probably catch up if you tried.
Okay, I'll try to either call out to him or, like, run up to him.
Okay. So no problem. You see him. You take off that way. Actually, you just turn around. You see everybody, right? You just notice everything. And you see him maybe a few blocks away, and you catch up with him. You yell at Jacker, and he turns around and he kind of lights up. Oh, Alma, hey, I just left you guys a note.
Hey, I thought so. What is it? Something we can talk about right now, or do we need to,
Can we? And he just looks around. Can we go somewhere?
like, you and I right now, or do you want me to?
And he, the group.
Okay. I'll say hang tight,
Okay.
and I'll kind of do a little jog back in.
Right. And he walks back your direction. Like, he now realizes you just got the note because you maybe had it in your hand. So he walks back behind you. So he's getting closer, and you notice that he just steps over into a shadow. Not great, but enough to where he's not just standing in the middle of the road.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go back into the group and just say, like, show them the paper and say, like, Jackery wants to talk, and he says we can't do it here. Do you guys want to go?
Yeah. Trathy will stand up and just look to Spetro. You want to come?
And I take this, and he just holds up a wad of meat,
Yes, of course.
and he
Fancy, why not?
pops down off of his chair. He's like, just got this handful of meat. He's eating it like an apple.
Awesome.
As he walks. Doesn't
I'll
care
leave some
about the
money
stuff running down his arm.
I'll leave some money to pay and tip.
Oh, we don't do that here.
Yeah, right. But Nalini, like, it's gone. I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't even hit the table. There's no clink. It's just in her pocket.
It's just a clear.
The professional waitress.
Bye.
Bye.
One hand, one bounce.
Bye.
Right. You guys head out, take a right, go down just barely a block, and you, like I said, he's not hiding. He's just out of the way, and he waves at you, like trying to get your attention, like you don't notice him, and walk over.
Guy
and
waving at us over there.
You walk over and
That's
it's
him,
Jacker, and
that's
he's bundled
friend.
up. He's got his cold weather gear on, and again, you guys are like in the jungle, so even cold is kind of relative. It's 30, no snow, nothing like that. It's just a cold jungle area. And he waves you. He said, "You remember we talked about me?"
Hang on.
Oh,
I just want to do detect magic first to make sure we're not being spied on.
okay. You're gonna do it like a ritual, or are you gonna cast it?
I mean, if everybody's cool and we have time, does Jackery have any pressing matters?
No.
Okay, then I'd rather ritual cast it and save
Okay.
the spell slot.
So 10 minutes pass. If you guys had something you want to do, you got time to do it. But if not, the spell completes. You cast your detect magic, and you don't detect. You're looking for divination. You're looking for like
Mm.
spying stuff. You don't detect anything.
Okay, carry on.
You asked me to let you know if something weird ever happens. Well, for one thing, I think the half-orcs have almost 100% replaced everybody. I mean, there's just a handful of original guards left. And not only that, those guards, they're getting ready to... they're planning a large-scale police action against the town of Redforge, south of here. And nobody knows why. Like, they're going to take a majority of the guards on a night and travel down. It's a couple of days away, but and travel down to Red Gorge and basically take over. This just came down a couple of days ago.
Came down from whom?
Guard captain. I mean, he gives us all our orders. It's just, we're in preparation to mobilize and gear up to go down.
And you don't know the night that this is going to occur?
No, but it's soon. I mean, next couple of days, maybe a week or less.
And you said that it was most of the remaining original guard. Are there half-orcs being sent, or is
It's
it just you guys?
only half-orcs being sent.
Oh.
And they are planning to leave any
Within the
guards
week.
here in Cauldron?
Oh yeah, I mean, they're not taking the whole 750 guard force. They're taking about 300 of them. Well trained, well armored half orcs, and Tercion is leading them.
Oh,
The guard captain.
yeah.
And he just pulls his hood up. If
Do
you
you-
need more, can you find me? And he looks very nervous.
Do you have any concerns for your safety? Does anyone else know that you know this?
We all know it. It's not really outside of the guard. Outside of the guards, outside of the watch. No, nobody really knows. They've been told not to really talk about it or mention it to anybody because it's an internal concern. They don't talk about that to the citizens. But it's well known within the guards and the leadership.
And they provided no reason?
Well, they never do. They just give us orders and we follow them. That's not different. That's not unusual. But what's unusual is using our city guard to police a city south of here, which we've never done before. I mean, they're a trade partner. I don't know what's going on.
Are they policing or assaulting?
They're calling it a police action.
On what grounds? Oh,
That is-
sorry, I'm Spetro. I'm with them.
He's cool.
Hi. Okay.
He's new.
Hi. I'm Jackery. They basically saved my life. No, they don't give us reasons. They haven't given us a reason. They just said that they're performing a large-scale police action on the town of Red Gorge. Now,
So everybody in the guards knows that, but nobody on the guard knows why.
nobody that I can talk to. I mean, I'm sure some of the higher level lieutenants under the captain may know more information. But anytime we've ever held any kind of like this scale, it's usually to put something down, like quell a rebellion or an insurrection, or we used to do this to the last laugh. I mean, we used to do actions against them all the time. We haven't done that in years. We haven't done anything with the last laugh in years. This kind of feels like something we would do against the last laugh. I hope that helps. I don't know what else I can tell you. And if I find out when specifically, I'll let you know. But I gotta go. I mean, I think it's probably going to be obvious if I'm sitting here talking to you guys that something's up. So,
Wait a second, Jackery, and Tarathiel will dig around in his pack and pull out one of the sending stones that he originally purchased to give to the groundskeeper at the orphanage.
Okay.
But he perished before he could give it to them. And he'll hand one to Jackery. If you need to reach us, send us anything, use
How do
this.
what do I do? He talks to, what do I do?
Just, well,
You got to press the button on the side.
Over.
that's it, yeah. You gotta let go of the button, or you can't hear my response.
Let go of the button.
Like, you say over to let go, when you let go of the button, so that I know. But say it before you let go of the button. It's complicated, but you'll get it.
Okay. So Mike talked to me about sending stones. How does it work?
I don't know. Hang on
Okay.
a sec.
All right.
That was him. That was him talking about it.
Right. So Decker takes it and he goes, yeah, and he puts it in his pocket and he pulls his his winter hood up. He's like, I'll and he just backs out into the shadows. I'll find you, or
Cool.
I'll communicate you. And he walks off.
All right, I got
Bye.
it. It's a pair of smooth stones. When you touch one of them, you can use an action to cast sending from it. Just like the spell sending, the target is always the bearer of the other stone. So Tarathiel has the other stone at the moment.
Okay.
And if nobody has the other stone, then you know it as soon as you try, and the sending just doesn't go off. Once you cast it, you can't do it again until the next dawn. So
So you can cast sending once a
per
day. And if for some reason the guy you gave it to doesn't have it, you know it. Or if
you know it, and you don't cast the spell, so you can keep trying that same day.
I see. Okay.
It fails. It's like
Fails.
it didn't go through kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You just get the busy signal.
So
The stone you have dialed is switched up.
Instead of hearing the ocean, you hear the busy.
your call is very important to us. You are 58th in line. Please be patient. We'll be with you shortly.
Here's some music.
The
Beep-dee-dee.
person you
We're sorry.
So it works both ways, right? So you can cast it once a day, and he could cast it once a day, or is it once and spent? Does it say?
No, the stones are a pair. So once sending is cast through them once per day, they can't be used again till the next dawn.
And
But the sending, it is the sending spell, so it's 25 words, and then I think a response. Let me just check.
so sending is
yeah,
like
they
the
can
third
answer-
or fourth level spell,
I can
right?
answer you.
Is that the one I'm
Third
thinking
level.
of? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Third level spell.
That's actually what Sarkum sent to Jenya when he was down at the drunken or the
Lucky monkey.
Crazy
His
monkey.
tongue eaten.
the lucky monkey. Yeah. Before he had his tongue eaten out. Okay.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Super not fun.
So Jackery takes it, he pockets it,
therefore
and
they must be tasty.
he gets out of sight and around the corner.
Well, what do we do about that?
I don't think there's anything we can do right now.
Do any of y'all know anything about this other city? Anything at all?
No, this is the farthest
do
south
I?
I've been.
I don't know.
So just being in Cauldron, you've heard, of Red Gorge. It's south of Cauldron. It's not a large town, but it is definitely a trading hub. Anything that Cauldron trades goes to them. Like Cauldron's big about like tropical fruits and wood and a couple of textiles, but they go through
Sweet tobacco salad.
Sweet, yeah, definitely that sweet
Tacos.
tobacco salad and tacos. That's a newer one that's just come around in the last year since Cowart's taco
Been in town.
stand has really taken off.
Cowart's Taco Emporium.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they are just a small trading town, and it's southwest of here, so there's not much past there, right? Because you guys are on the edge, quote, of the map of Orith. Because to the west of you is just this long line of mountains, and beyond that is just desert for hundreds and hundreds of miles. To your east, you've got Jekle Bay, which is a trading bay full of pirates. So you're kind of down this weird peninsula.
It's a terrible
There's
trading
nothing-
bay.
Nothing to really, nothing really to trade with. So you trade with them, and they trade with you.
What if we wanted to trade pirates?
That would take an incredible business plan.
I'll get to work on it.
Okay.
We could try and talk to Tercion.
I mean,
Oh.
it's
He did tell us to go and see him whenever we needed to. He does
Did
wander
Jackery
in and-
say how long this plan has been in place? Like how quickly they rounded up these? What'd you say? Like 250, 350 half-orc guards to go do this thing?
You guys can let him know about the half orcs if you want.
yeah. The orcs have been like slowly infiltrating and replacing all of the guard of the town. So at this point, it looks like they're mostly half orcs, and they're displacing a lot of the workers from Cauldron.
But did
Oh.
Jackery say specifically this plan to take these half-orcs to go to this place and do this police action or whatever? Did he mention in that conversation? Yeah, that they've been working on this for a couple days, or
A couple of days. They just got word sent down from the captain that get ready. We're going to be doing a police action on Red Gorge, so we're going to be, we're getting our logistics together to go do this because it's going to be about with that size of an quote army. It's going to be probably a week-long march to get there. So they're getting logistics together. They're getting planning at this point, but there's no set date that they're leaving the city yet. They haven't mentioned that yet. They're just saying it's going to happen soon. Get ready.
how old's that flyer that the Drow handed to y'all?
Days. I mean, it's just been out for a couple of days. It's got a specific date as to when this gathering is going to happen, which is tomorrow night. But the flyer's just been out with, day before yesterday.
Okay.
Interestingly, the half-orcs are connected to the Blue Duke, and we've heard rumors that he's coming back as well.
That's right. And Jackery didn't really mention anything about that. The Blue Duke was coming in to. What did I say? I don't know how much I've mentioned, but I think I mentioned that the Blue Duke was coming in to take over control of the half-orcs, the guard.
I think there was something else you mentioned too, right? Right? Sure, right? Yeah. I think there was more information.
No, you have to go back
That's
and
what-
listen to the previous episode.
Yeah.
But-
all I had in my notes is the Blue Duke is coming to Cauldron. So
Okay. And you guys heard about the Blue Duke ages ago when you first met Kelev and Kullander and down there in the way.
Draktar's
Way.
track Thar's way.
They mentioned that they were hired inadvertently through this Blue Duke.
Coward says we can do one police action per turn. Thanks for the rules clarification on that.
Appreciate that. I was getting ready to look that up.
Standard bonus and police action. Got it.
Standard
no.
bonus. Yes, make an investigation check.
So, what's the plan?
I think Farazan, he's kind of thinking about it, and he says, until we know when they are leaving, I think that our priority would be to stay apprised of the situation at the courthouse.
protest.
Yeah, at the
Courthouse. That's right.
courthouse.
Yeah.
It could be that this gathering is a distraction to hide the fact that they're marching 300 guardsmen out of the city.
I thought that too.
So I was asking about the timing.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, that kind of clicked.
We need to get some universal glue and just glue all the gates shut.
I'm sure that would be real popular.
For just a little
So-
while, but they'll probably just go out the whatever murder basement that's attached to the bottom of the guardhouse.
Mhm.
The boathouse.
Or Oryx Boathouse.
The boathouse.
That's the episode I'm listening to right now. That's where I've got this. Where,
Bathhouse.
The bathhouse episode.
yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little beyond that. Yeah, that's definitely ringing some fresh bells.
That's like one of the last things that if somebody. It was brought up that like only the people in the know call it the boathouse. It's like yeah. Wink, wink,
Watch
wink.
out for that.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
So it's getting later. It's like I said, it's pushing 7 or 8. It's dinner time. You guys have been eating. You've had the conversation with Jackery. I don't know. Head back to the Morkoth. Are you going to stay in town? You're going to go to the burner basement for the night.
Probably would be best to stay close. just in case something were to happen. It seems like the town is becoming a bit volatile.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Any of y'all got like a like a love seed or something in your room?
You could probably stay in Khaldun's room.
I mean, it'll be like a king size bed to me.
I think that our patron would cover yours as well.
You guys got a source
Well,
of money?
You can bunk in with Khaldun.
Yeah. Can't have
Khaldun's
his room.
he's kind of
He
sequestered.
sleeps most nights at the Blue Crater
Yeah,
Academy
yep.
anyway.
He's
Yeah,
got an
so
office
you
in the
can-
bed and doing all that research, so he's not even staying in this room at the Morkoth at this point.
Okay,
You
So
can
there's
stay
his
there.
spare room. Yep.
I'm in.
You could definitely stay there.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you guys are staying at the Morkoth, just down at the tavern part until later, I suppose, just having a few drinks. And while you're just sitting around talking, chit-chatting, getting to know Spectra a little better, Jenya walks in, which is kind of a rarity. You know, she,
Ooh.
for one thing, rarely leaves the church anymore because she's the head priestess and is busy. Two, she's coming to a bar, which seems kind of out of place for her. But
Oh,
she
wait,
comes
wait!
in.
I've heard this one. So a cleric walks into a bar.
And
No. That's it.
You only heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah,
Right,
I didn't know. Yeah.
Didn't know the whole thing.
I
No,
know
I don't
it.
know the outcome. Ah.
No matter. It's yes and.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, and she comes in. She's wearing her official regalia, like she just got off work, and she looks like she's looking for you because she walks in, she sees you, and she lights up and smiles, and she walks over to the table and holds her hand up. May I?
Of course, you don't have to ask.
She sits down, and Nalini comes over, and she smiles at Nalini and says, "I'll have an ale and whatever Alma's having, I'll have that."
It's
I
Jen.
heard.
Jenya Spectra, Jenya.
How do you do?
He's just good, better.
Excellent. I'm Jenya. I'm the head priestess of the Church of St. Cuthbert, and I've known your friends for a long time. They've been a great help to me and the people of the city of Cauldron.
Yeah, when she says, "I've known your friends for a long time," it kind of jars his, like he kind of squints his eyes, and then he's like, "Oh, these guys, they're my friends that you're talking about. We're friends."
Yeah.
We've known Spectra for about an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh,
1448.
well, not to be rude, and she looks at Spetro. Can I speak freely around your friend?
To me,
She's looking at you. She glances at you and looks at the rest of the party and says that, I'm not trying to be rude. I don't know him. Can I speak freely?
I'm an excellent judge of character, and I believe that we can.
Okay. And
Farazan's happy, I'm happy.
I just give 2 thumbs up.
good. And
Raphael, can you do that?
it's
It's pinkies.
wrong day. Yes. You're counting to 3 in German. And she mentions, like, she says, we're safe, and she said, I'm still concentrating on detecting whether or not anybody's following me, but we're safe to speak. So this thing that's happening tomorrow, this gathering, it's odd how this has come about. There is a holy warrior of St. Cuthbert who's been part of our church, a paladin, who's been a part of our church for many, many years. He leaves the city to go on his little crusades from time to time, and she stops. I need to stop calling it that. He goes on his own personal missions. When I say little crusade, that's a little rude. The last time I saw him, I wasn't the head priestess of St. Cuthbert's Church in Cauldron. But what I do know is he's supposed to be... She pauses and sits back.
I'm sorry.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Could you say those last sentences again for those in the back?
I don't know how far back to go. There's a holy warrior of St. Cuthbert who's a paladin of the Church of St. Cuthbert of Cauldron, and I know he's been out of Cauldron for quite some time. I mean, at least 2 years. But he's recently written a letter to the City Council of Cauldron, and it's kind of odd. His name is on the tip of my tongue. It's been a while since I've seen him. Alec Turcival. So I don't know if you recognize the last name, but Turcival is one of the more prominent royal families of Cauldron. He's one of the sons. And because of that, he has the right to challenge certain officials should the need arise or should they just choose to. It's part of the old law of peers. And Alec has decided to challenge the captain of the guard, Tercion Skellering.
Not a fan of the orcs, is he?
Well, he seems to believe that it's not good for the town, and he apparently has been meeting with Mavu. I think I told you that the church from Sasserine told me that he was there and safe. Well, that was at his request, and I've recently found out that Mavu has been in Red Gorge. And he's been meeting with a somewhat secret in the fact that people don't talk about it, but they're called the Chisel, and they're a group of businessmen, and they're fairly good for the societies that they're a part of. And Mavu is a part of the Chisel, and he's been down there because of the taxes and because of the changes in the leadership of Cauldron. He's been down there trying to discuss a way to get the politics of Cauldron shifting back to where they used to be, better for the people rather than for the 1%. But the letter that he sent was to challenge, like I said, to challenge Tercion Skellering for the role of guard captain of Cauldron. But this wasn't publicized. The city council kept it secret. They shouldn't have. I mean, it's a legal challenge. It should be made public so the challenge can be upheld.
So the sheriff knows about it already too? This guy that he's actually challenging?
The captain does know. The council knows. The Lord Mayor knows. I'm sure probably a majority of the royal houses know. Certainly the Tercion house knows. Alex's house knows. But he was supposed to have been here by now. And
For the challenge.
For the challenge, and he's not here. I don't know if he's waiting to come tomorrow because of the thing that's going on in front of the courthouse, which I think I won't be able to attend, but I think it might be in the best interest if you were around somewhere. Anyway, Alec is a really good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, and he would be a fantastic captain of the guard for Cauldron. And it's not just because he's a follower of St. Cuthbert. He's a just man. He's a very powerful paladin. I just felt like these are things you would like to know. I just happened to find out tonight, and also found out you guys have been staying here for the afternoon. So I felt like, come out, have a beer with my friends, and let you know about the revolution that's happening in the town that you have been staying in for the last 2 years. And she smiles.
That is quite the development. Have you used any of your magic to scry up on, what was his name? Baldwin? Alec?
Baldwin.
Alec Tercion?
I went to Guinness.
Guinness? Sir Alec Guinness?
What's his last name?
Tercion.
Name I've not
Tercion.
heard in a long time.
Tercion or
No, he's
Tercival?
I thought it was Tercival.
His last name is Tercival.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Tercion Skellerang and Alec Tercival. Alek Tercival is the paladin of St.
Oh, I
Cuthbert.
spelled it right.
Nice.
Tercion Skellerang is the captain of the guard.
That's conveniently
John
named.
Fox worked for Alma.
That's conveniently named.
I don't know what that
Tercival v.
means.
Tercion.
Power hour. Now, is the challenge
Sunday,
is it like a physical challenge, or is it like a
It's a-
political challenge?
Pie
It's a duel.
eating.
A chess match.
It's a duel.
It's a duel.
It's a duel.
Pie eating.
Public? Is it generally like a public event, like a gladiatorial kind of thing?
Yes, it is. It's usually it's not ever happened in my lifetime, but what I've read about it is it's held at the guardhouse, the compound next to the city council building. And it's not to the death.
That's it.
I mean, it's not meant to kill anyone. It's just meant to subdue or have someone
Yield.
yield. Thank you.
It's a duel to the unemployment.
Yeah, basically.
Let me-
And
Is
that
there
would be
any chance-
publicized, wouldn't it?
To the pain.
Just- Okay.
I'm
there
nodding yes on
chance-
a podcast.
Mhm.
that this challenge might take place in Red Gorge.
No, it would have to occur here in Cauldron for it to be official. I mean, it has to be witnessed. You know, they have to show witness that this challenge did occur, that it was fair, and that it was upheld by the laws, and the winner would continue or become the new captain of the guard.
And
Well-
you say, go ahead, Tarathiel.
What if something were to happen to Alec before he could bring the challenge?
It just wouldn't happen. It
I think
wouldn't
that's what they're going for.
stopping the challenge.
But why? He's already running late though, right? When's the last time you talked to him, and is this in character for him to not show up to something like, a big challenge for the sake of his city's well-being
I haven't
as a
seen him.
paladin and all?
I haven't seen him in several years. He's been out of town for years, and he didn't send me the letter. He sent the letter to the city council as a formal challenge, and I just happened to find out through friends and sources.
Well,
And
Sounds
it
like-
was more of an expectation that he would be here tonight because the challenge would have happened tomorrow.
Okay.
So I don't know. I wouldn't say that I would immediately jump to nefarious actions, but if he were in town, he would come see me. He would stay at the church. We'd go to dinner. I haven't seen him in years.
So
Have you
this
tried
wasn't like
scrying on him?
I have, but I have been unsuccessful.
In a way of just like it didn't work, or it was one of those preventative things?
I don't know how to tell the difference, to be honest.
Hmm.
So when you scry, you either succeed or you don't.
Okay.
So like even if you are blocked or if you just happen to fail or they made their saving throw, as it were, if they make their saving throw, you wouldn't know they made the saving throw. You just would not gather any information.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So this letter that he sent, it wasn't like one of those fill in the blank deals where he's like, "I, Alec Tercival,
Yeah.
challenge for the position of captain of the guard
Mad
on
Lib.
fill in the blank
Mad
date."
Lib, yeah. No, it was apparently formally written with his seal. So the challenge, from what I've heard or what I understand, is legitimate. It's a legitimate challenge, and it should be honored by the laws of Cauldron because he is one of the original households of the city. Beyond that, I'm getting the second hand.
Malvo must know how to contact him. You said that they've been talking.
Yes, Mavu's been in Red Gorge, and I don't know if that's where Alec is, but the fact that Mavu is talking about changing the guard captain, it makes me think that they're probably talking or have been connected recently.
Tarathiel looks at Spedro. You reckon you can outrun an army?
If I get a head start, I mean, can they jump real high? Because I can fly. You need me to? What are you suggesting? I run to Red Gorge and ask around for this guy?
No, I was going to suggest we all go.
Okay, that sounds more reasonable.
Can we make it there and back
After the gathering?
in time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. We're working on a timeline here.
I'm
We're
going
gonna
to
be.
flip over to the regional map. Jamie, just to let you know, so we can get an idea of where Red Gorge is. Because if you'll take a look, it is farther away than the than Crazy Jared's. However, Crazy Jared's wasn't on a main road. This is a main road. It's paved, not paved. It's well ridden. It's kept
Well
trod. It's guarded. There are
Blazed.
cauldron patrols. There's a lot, so it's a major thoroughway. So getting to Red Gorge on this road would take probably, it's as the crow flies, it's about 25 miles. But you see how windy that road is.
What about as the Spetro flies?
It would be 25 miles.
It's still the same distance. I'm faster than a crow.
Following the road, it would be 30, 35 miles, give or take. So on horseback, it would be 2 or 3 days to get there. So you imagine an army of 300 marching, it would be probably 2 weeks.
How fast could an unladen Spetro versus a laden Spetro take this flight?
Not about weight, it's where grips the husk.
And also, was it the trail we blaze? Is that a Road to El Dorado reference?
Yes. Yes. That's an excellent movie.
Fantastic.
I mean, can we just really quickly invent like hot air balloons? Because we're really way
Yes.
up.
Yes, give me a hot air balloon engineering roll with intelligence.
A hang glide check.
Well, I mean, do you guys feel like even if they got a head start, we might could catch them? I mean, it's just the 4 of us moving versus hundreds.
Mhm.
We could
They
get around
haven't
them.
left. You guys,
Right.
Right. Well, we would know. Presumably, we would have ways of knowing when they left, even if we didn't see them with our own eyeballs. You guys
Exactly.
know some folks in town.
Yeah,
We had
Tercion.
nurse all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tercion will probably let us know when that
Jackery.
like that's what I said. Jackery.
I heard it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Jackery will let us know when that little mini boss kicks off. I mean, that little event kicks off.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we want to, hold tight, do what Jinya suggested we do as far as being eyes and ears at this protest thing, and your
I think
drow
that's
friend.
important.
Yes, and I believe you need a few more carbs before you start running.
Yeah.
I'm all about them carbs, baby.
You need some fettuccine Alfredo's with that.
Spaghetti loading.
Round of lasagnas.
Show.
Oh, that's funny.
Just comes in a pint of lasagna.
Just a mason jar
One
of
spoon.
lasagna.
Sounds kind of good
A
though.
Parks and Recs amount.
Yeah, when I ask for the lasagna to go, that's what she gives it to me, and it's in
Yeah,
a mason jar.
I love it.
She brings out a
Pocket
bag
lasagna.
of lasagna.
Pocket lasagna. Roll for lasagna.
Pocket lasagna. Oh my
It's
gosh.
a thing. It's not a thing around here. It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's like, I
It is now.
yeah, it is.
It is
right?
now. Yeah.
I had this is a true story. I was at an Easter egg hunt thing for our church the other day, and a kid was like at this egg station with boiled eggs, and he was like, "Yeah, I keep boiled eggs in my pocket." And I was like, "Pocket eggs?" And he was like, "Yeah." Pretty sure you're lying, but it's kind of an awesome idea.
Yeah.
You're lucky
They
you
keep
didn't just
in
go
there.
pocket eggs and throw them in the
Right.
Yoke's on you, buddy.
Oh, stop.
You know, it does remind me of a friend of mine. His name's Seth. He used to be Special
Inspiration.
Forces, and Rachel, you know Seth. And he, I remember somebody talking about him once. We were at some friend's house, the Turner's house, and oh Lord, I just forgot her name.
Mrs.
Mrs. Turner.
She,
Offered Julie. Thank you.
Tina. No, Tina.
Offered some food or whatever. Like, you know, you want to take some of this with you. And it was not something dry, let's say. And he's like, yeah, sure. And he got a handful of it and put it in his pocket. And
That
left.
sounds
I
about
mean,
right.
yeah, right? I mean, this is the guy that was invited to the potluck and asked if he needed to bring a fork because he wasn't sure if there would be enough. I mean, it's
at
just
least he wasn't asking if he could bring a dish that he would just dig out of his back pocket.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly.
hey, I brought pie.
Pocket
Well,
round.
I think about that.
Pocket
quite a
hand,
bit.
pocket hand.
So-
Pocket hand for you.
No, Hot Pockets. Come on, people.
Anyway,
Hot pocket
um,
pockets.
okay.
Oops.
Pocket hot pockets.
It's Ness. Necessary Evil.
Hi.
He's in chat.
Oh,
First
that
time
guy.
chat.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. It's probably my fault.
Well, considering this is the first time he's ever heard, or I don't know if but
We accept.
yeah. Thank you for coming, Ness.
We tolerate you.
So, is there anything else you guys would like to do tonight? And Ginger's still there, and she stays for about an hour, having a few drinks and talking to you and catching up a little bit and answering questions should you come up with something in the meantime.
What do you think the chances that Alec would win?
Oh gosh, oh yeah, he will win without a shadow of a doubt.
If he's here.
If he, of course, if he makes the duel, the captain of the guard. I mean, I know you guys have met him. He's functional at best.
Yeah, we could fold him like an origami
Yeah,
crane.
I believe so. And Alec has been a paladin for 20 years. I mean, he's not new to this kind of. I mean, he's been on crusades after crusades. You know, probably higher level than you guys.
Oh.
That kind of thing.
Not by the time we find him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just give us 6
With our
months.
levels combined, though.
Give us some time.
Ooh. We
Yep.
could be Captain Olaf.
Bless you.
I want to be hot.
I don't think I've got anything else.
Okay.
Farazan is much smarter than I am. Is there anything else I should ask?
Roll for insightful questions.
Yes,
Yeah,
for
right.
insightful questions.
Or there are spells that Alma has access to. If that's something you'd like to try.
Cast contact GM.
Yeah. Basically talk to Biori. I've been curious as to when this comes up and like how I'm gonna handle it, but you only cast that once a week, right? Isn't that pretty limited?
No. Let me look right here.
Ran a mission from Bailey.
It's long rest based.
Okay.
So if I try to cast it 2 or more times before finishing a long rest, there is a cumulative 25% chance for each casting that I get no answer, and you would roll that in secret.
I like secret
Wait,
rolls.
who are you contacting? Is this a god?
Yeah,
You could talk to
Very.
a god?
I can talk to God.
Could
Well,
you tell everybody
kind
that?
of.
Because you should. I would lead every conversation with that.
I told the party.
Does he talk
and
back
nobody-
regularly?
I haven't tried it yet. I'm a little nervous.
Well, you should be talking to God. Like,
Yeah.
what do I say?
I have a negative 1 charisma, so I, don't
The
foresee
first thing
it
you say
going
is,
well.
"I am really sorry for everything. Now let's get past it, and I got a question for you."
That's a goal you're
I
going
just
to
wanna-
rehearse.
Yeah. I have to make a script and stuff for that one. Like,
You
hello.
should just lead. That should be how you introduce yourself. Hi, my name's Alma. I have a direct line of Takes communication with insert God's name here. That would be.
Once
I mean, she
per
has
day.
kind of a following Cauldron, and there are reasons for that, you know.
We should role play it out. Pretend Faizan is God.
I close my eyes. Dear God, it's me, Alma.
Hold on, I need to turn my brightness up.
Arthur.
All right.
Oh, quit groveling.
I don't have anything specific that I want to do, but historically, Tarathiel's been pretending to sleep at the inn and then sneaking out to go and sleep at an old lady's house that he rented a room from. But given that the Last Laugh knows about her and knows that he's been staying there, he's pretty much just cut off all contact. So he's just staying in the Drunken Morgoth.
I'm gonna say Spectro knew that.
Okay.
It'd be fun. I could just
Probably
say
did.
that all the time now. Yeah, Spectro knew that. Fine.
It's just part of one of his quirks.
Hey,
So-
hey, you gonna sneak out and sleep at that old lady's house?
Yeah.
It's like I haven't. He chose to respect your boundary after going into the old lady's house.
You're
So he's
always
like, I don't really
drawing
need to
the
know what
blinds.
happens.
You're constantly drawing the blinds.
He's like, there's certain things I don't really want to know.
Cast darkness on myself.
Yeah, please. My eyes.
blindness, deafness. Just
I know silence. too.
Avert your ears. Avert your ears.
Yeah.
that sure is.
So, in that case, the night will pass uneventfully. You'll wake up the next morning, long rest complete if you need that. Probably shouldn't at this point. First thing in the morning, early, like as soon as there's enough light to travel through Cauldron, which is more like 9 or 10 because, you know, the winter time, you hear the masses of people starting to gather already because, I mean, if you look at the map, you guys are just a few blocks away from the city hall, which is 5 on the map. Yeah, it's turned into kind of a festival. So you open the window to look out and you see people moving towards that direction, but you see a lot of the food carts and trucks, and you see Cowart's son pushing their taco truck
Awesome.
up towards the city hall, and you understand that this is probably going to be some sort of tense kind of gathering, but nobody is really taking it seriously.
But capitalism.
But capitalism. So it's almost like they don't quite get the severity of this. And they're also like, well, we have a reason to like capitalism. We have a reason to sell things. So it's almost like, you know, down with the man banners, and you know everybody's cheering and like putting on makeup of Alec, his coat of arms, because there's supposed to be a duel. Not that, because that's not well known, but you know, that kind of thing. That feeling of a festival's happening today. It's a little weird. It's kind of a strange dichotomy between we're challenging the city and we're partying about it.
Farazan gets a foam finger. It says, Alec number 1.
Raphael, number 1.
Yeah.
You can still give offensive gestures with the fingers that you have remaining. I'm well aware of this.
Read next to the lines. I don't know.
I still got
For
that one.
Tarathia, they say that when you point at somebody, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. Not in your case. You just have like the 1. That's evens. You're point 1, they're point 1.
Actually, he's got the. You probably haven't gotten that far in the podcast yet. There was a replacement.
He got 1 back.
No. It's a full on like.
No,
Is it Mithril?
Yeah.
No, is
It's
it?
silver.
It can't be.
silver?
It's
Silver?
It
Okay.
doesn't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, Khaldun made him a multi-finger
Prosthetic?
multi-tool.
That's got
Stay
an Inspector
tuned.
Gadget like lockpick in it.
Pretty sweet.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty sweet.
I mean, it impinges upon my ability to crack jokes at your physical defects expense, but I'll allow it.
I still do this to get into character every time.
Like, all right, I'm
I
Tarathiel.
mean, you can take the
Finish the
prosthetic on
session
and
and
off,
go
I
like,
assume.
A little cramping.
Everything's fine.
So you, the gathering, the I keep on wanting to say riot, but I feel like it might be foreshadowing.
Protest.
Protest?
The protest, thank you, is due to begin around noon, which is just a few short hours from now. You said you plan on attending. Is there anything you'd like to do between now and then?
Go ahead, Alma.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do we see the city responding in any kind of way with all these people gathering in front of the, what'd you say, it was the courthouse or the guardhouse?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, are they posting guards?
There's
or-
a definite larger guard presence today. And it's not like Gestapo, but it's just you see them more often in their patrols than you would on a normal average day.
And they're
Is there a figurehead of some kind? Like like press secretary style, trying to, communicate with the masses, calm them down? Or is it just, are they waiting for somebody? Or do we know?
So there's not much information. They just know that we're gonna protest. We're gonna meet in front of the city guard at noon on this day, and like at this point there's nothing to calm down. Everybody's in a great mood. I mean, everybody's like, everybody's got their kids out. They're gonna go to the courthouse and see what's gonna happen because this has never really happened, right? I mean, this is kind of a new thing, and nobody's really expecting a spectacle or. It's that cognitive dissonance. It's just nothing's going to happen. Like this is just it's a special day, and we're going to have fun, and it's all wonderful. Because most of the people in town who aren't businessmen don't really feel the pinch of the higher taxes, and maybe a little bit, but most of the taxation has gone towards the business people.
Everyone said the cast of Ted Lasso is going to be there, so just coming out to see them.
And Pedro Pascal, I mean, he'll be there.
Ah,
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, right. Everybody's there.
struck a chord with
I
Alma.
mean, to be fair, there's a,
Sorry, that wasn't Alma.
they have historically been
Pedro.
orphans in trouble, so
Pardon.
whenever there's a magical
Alma
child
will be there.
that's transporting,
Fantasy Pedro Pascal's going to be.
I'll take either one.
that Pedro Pascal's like the internet daddy right now.
Yeah, he is.
uh-huh.
I need an adult.
I would like to throw psychic whispers on everybody, which would be the first time
Ooh.
for Spectro, because I can bring Spectro in. I can bring 4 other people in.
Is it? Would it?
What does this do?
This is our internal monologue.
You can
Yes.
communicate
So
telepathically, basically.
and
Mike,
it'll
why
last
don't
for
you
3 hours.
read it to us? Like, kind of
Yeah.
give him an idea how it works.
The whole thing. Hang on a
Well,
sec.
no, just the pertinent
I
parts.
guess a big old block of
All
text.
of it.
28
agree.
years ago.
I was like, man,
Hang on, hang on, hang on.
Oh,
You can establish a telepathic communication between yourself and others, perfect for quiet infiltration. As an action, choose 1 or more creatures you can see, up to the number of creatures equal to your proficiency level, and then roll a psionic energy die. For a number of hours equal to the number rolled, the chosen creatures can speak telepathically with you, and you can speak telepathically with them. Got to be within 1 mile of each other. So you can use the telepathy with anybody that can speak a language, and you don't have to actually share a language.
Sweet. So you cast this and I just assume I'm aware of it, or you talk to
like,
me in my
"Yeah."
head.
inside your head.
He would warn you before he does it.
Okay.
Does it require touch? I don't think it does.
I think we determined it didn't because the
Choose 1 or
frog
more
lock.
creatures you can see.
Yep.
Yeah. You so you caution him about it, and you say you're going to hear me in your head, and he seems totally comfortable with that idea, as if he's been exposed to that and possibly can do it himself. He's just like, okay.
Ooh.
It'll help with.
Imagine.
So the actual way that it functioned is everybody communicates to Tarathiel and Tarathiel communicates to them, but we kind of hand wave that. That seems like
Okay.
a really
It's a lot.
yeah, it's a lot to deal and keep up with. But in actuality, you talk to him and he relays the message, and then vice versa, right? He's like the hub. You can't talk to anybody else telepathically.
You can't have a
talk to
private
him.
conversation without me.
Yeah, right.
He's
really-
nosy.
There are several strings and cans, and he's got his ears on all of them, and none of them are connected.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's a hub
I am
and
the
spoke.
spider in the center of the web.
Yes.
Yes.
I will climb a building somewhere.
Oops, just pick one.
Well, I just wanted to
Green
interject before we split up at all. I do want to ask if anybody wants to ask any questions to God today, because I'm going to try to use my spell. If we want to brainstorm on that, I can only ask 3 questions. I want to make sure they're good.
Did
Anybody
it have to be
got
like
any-
yes or no?
Yes.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
No.
That kind of thing?
No.
One more.
Yeah, it has to be a yes or no question.
Oh,
And it can, and the response can be, it can be like unclear or a 1-word answer. You can offer a short phrase as an answer instead of a yes or no.
Should we head to Red Gorge immediately?
Okay.
Does that seem?
What's tell me the name of the spell? I just want to look at it real quick.
Commune.
Commune. So go ahead and come up with your questions. So I have a little half a second to kind of come up with the answers.
So the question that I had in regard to Red Gorge was similar, so we can kind of decide if that's the one that we want to ask. I had just written like, are the guards leaving for the Red Gorge today? Which would then answer if we need to leave now.
That's fair. And then
Casting time a minute, duration a minute. You've got to ask your questions within a minute. Okay,
Within
no
a
problem.
minute.
No problem.
I also had sorry. Is Alec Tercival? I put in trouble, but I also put alive. I don't know which is better to ask.
Financial trouble, yes.
does he require our immediate assistance? Maybe.
So you can ask fairly anything. I mean, it's
He
just,
forgot to take out the trash this morning and his wife is pissed.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot!
Lots of trouble.
I had a joke on another podcast that made me just about spit my drink across the room when they were in a fantasy setting, and they said, yeah, he got really heavily invested into NFTs, which is horses with no fucking teeth.
Oh man, that's
great.
quick.
Amazing. Yeah, Alma will hear Tarathiel's voice in her head, and he's kind of not looking. He's avoiding eye contact. Could you find someone?
Yeah,
Ooh.
I think.
If I give you a name, can you ask?
I can't find a location unless you have a question about a specific location. On the adverse of that, if you want me to do a different spell, I can try to locate someone with a little extra help.
Can we talk about it after?
Oh yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Well,
So that's 2 questions, right? The third one's just, I bet nobody asks, how are you?
and they just say yes.
Yeah. Yes, nobody asks.
well, it does say that I can give short sentences, which is a little different
Yeah.
from the past ones. I'm glad they. I mean, it's our game, our rules, but I like that they added that you can actually give more than "yup." I mean, so
Stinky.
I mean, they
Yarp
make
is
guides
yarp.
sound illiterate,
yeah,
or
right.
dumb.
Well, they're busy, they got
Yeah, they don't have
multiverses. and-
time.
That's true.
for,
They're just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the other D&D streams.
all right,
When you
especially
Yeah.
when it's not every day, and you're like asking, "Would you please shut up?" Like disadvantage. Like, gosh.
message Baorian and the 3 dots pops up and it goes away. It pops up.
She's
and it goes
thinking.
away.
She's thinking.
It's like, oh no.
Or she does that cruel thing where she sends you the GIF that makes it look like she's typing.
Oh god.
Yeah.
You know,
That would
Yeah,
be
dude.
terrible.
She wants to distract you for a while. It's the picture of a a picture with like a play button, but it's just a picture. So you're like hitting
Just
it for a
sitting
while.
there
Like,
finding
oh, what is
it.
it supposed to do?
What does
Uh,
it mean?
Is that the de-ethic equivalent of a Rickroll?
If you, I mean, if you're looking for a third question, we've been trying to figure out where Tarim is and weren't able to scry upon him. So you could ask if Tarim is still in the city.
Okay.
Of the 3 objectives that we have in front of us, which one is the one that we should dedicate our attention to today?
Well, one of those kind of gets answered by the first question.
Yeah, I
or
know,
at
I
least
know.
we get a little bit. We get some prioritization
Mhm.
at least out of the 1st one.
Are you talking about if the guards are leaving today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Or if you can get back a non-binary response, you could just ask when will the guards leave for Red Gorge. And see what you get. You might get yes.
Might get later.
yeah.
Later would suck too.
But it still
Yeah.
just says like it can be answered with a yes or no. Even though you can answer with a short phrase, it still would be a yes or no answer. So I
So
don't think
a
I can
little-
ask time questions.
Again, I think I mentioned this before, a little behind the curtain. I am not a dick DM. I'm going to give you what I think you should get using a 5th level spell. Like you're using some power, and you have expectations when you cast a spell. If I can give you information, I'm going to give it to you. I'm not going to hold back. So, and I'm not, like you cast a wish. I wish I was super powerful. Like, all right, now you're a cartoon and you're a piece of paper. I don't do crap like that. I'm not trying to screw you over. Like, figure out your questions. You'll get answers. And so
Thank you.
this spell is amazing for a DM because I just get to unload information and like help you along and push the plot. These are spells that I absolutely love. So ask away.
I do love. Did you guys ever play Storm King's Thunder at all, by chance? 5e.
I tried.
There was like a supplement for it that you got if you went to like a Fandango event that was Acquisitions Incorporated related.
Ooh, yeah.
And, it introduced a character. I think it was a floating skull. I think
Yeah.
his name was Tulok or something like that. I loved that as a DM because it could be like I could tell you whatever I want, and like as written, he heckles like during combat, which is fun anyway.
Well, it's kind of
But,
like
yeah.
Morty from
Rick and?
Of the Rick variety.
shoot. Damn it. The
Future.
old CRPG Torment. Everybody
Yep.
ever played Torment? You get the little skull is a murmur. And he's just like,
Planescape?
one of his special abilities is to heckle, and it like drives people crazy. So maybe based off of that, where that came from.
Yeah, it was. I loved playing as Tulok, and it, like in addition to the heckling just for fun, it would also he was just indispensable as like a, what do you want to know? Because I know it.
Wasn't he like a
And,
professor or something like that? Or something?
it's been a while since I ran it,
Yeah.
but he was just very flexible just extreme utility for being able to kind of steer people in certain directions because he lived like all these lifetimes or whatever.
Yeah, flexible for
Very
a
cool.
skull.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you come up with your 3 questions?
No.
All right.
I'm not
Ask-
clear.
Ask them anyway. We're almost at the 2 hours.
Yeah,
Oh God.
you can sleep.
This can-
This can be the night
That'll
before.
have a week to come up with
Okay,
his
all right.
answers.
All right, whatever. All right, I'll cast it. I'll start casting my ritual spell.
Okay. You finish. No problem. You're sitting around. You're in the bar
Awesome.
of the Drunken Morkoth. You're like, go, BRE.
Actually, no,
blah, blah,
I would
blah."
want to do this privately because I do
Okay.
have to light some incense and stuff. So I would do it up in my room.
By yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we find
So-
a rooftop garden? So the nature guard, right?
Oh, that'd be nice.
Sure. You know where there's a rooftop garden that you can find.
Farazan hands
Okay,
you a
yeah.
there's no other place to
small
put a garden.
succulent.
Get out
There
my
must be
little
a lot of
pocket
rooftop
fan garden.
gardens in Cauldron. I
Yeah.
would have thought. There's
Yeah,
not a lot
exactly.
of land. so
There's no
people would
land
use
for a
their
garden,
roofs.
so you got banana trees on top of houses like crazy.
Right.
So yeah, you go up to a nice rooftop garden. You knock on somebody's house because you can see the garden from the ground, and the door opens, and the elderly lady who's probably a grandmother opens, and she sees Alma. She's like, "Hello, my lady," and you ask her, and she's of course, come up, and she lets you go upstairs, and you take your time, and she heads on back downstairs, and you have this rooftop garden, and you start casting your spell, and it takes whatever, it's a ritual. It takes a minute, and you finish the spell, and immediately upon finishing the spell, you feel at peace, just complete at ease. You feel like if a god could smile at you, it's happening right now.
Okay. Hi, it's me, Alma.
Yes.
You might. Oh,
Be careful. That could be one of the questions.
It was
Petro
a
from some
statement.
undisclosed portion in the city. No.
It's a statement. This is a little awkward for me, but I have some questions, and I was hoping that you could be of some help. And first, I just would like to know if Alec Turcival is alive.
Yes, he is.
Okay, I shouldn't have asked that. Does he need our immediate assistance?
I really don't think I can answer that. I'm not sure.
Okay, moving on from that. Are the guards leaving for the Red Gorge in the next 3 days?
They will be leaving 3 days hence.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for the blessings that you've given to me.
And the smile, the holy smile, the godly smile slowly fades, and you just have just this feeling of purpose. Like you just spoke to the God that you've been worshiping your whole life, and you heard a voice. Like that's a big deal. So
That's pretty crazy.
I mean, you've definitely been validated by just casting the spell and having a short conversation with her.
Cool. All right.
So the question you asked about, is he in immediate danger? It was a slight hesitation to almost what you consider as it could go either way kind of thing. So I'm not sure. That's kind of the feeling you got from that answer.
Instead of the godly smile, you got the godly brow furrow.
Yeah, like
or the godly shrug, like,
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
who?
Okay. All right.
All right.
I will thank the old lady and
Of course.
give her some gold. And,
Nalini's
and,
mom.
She has a heart attack.
oh no! I heal her, and then I leave.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come back and just report that I had a very cool, successful conversation with God today. I'm feeling really kind of high up and excited, very high energy. And I will.
You have a glow about you, Alma,
Yeah,
today.
I feel like I do. But yeah, and I'll just kind of report what I learned and when the guard is leaving, and just kind of what I found out about Alec. Ba-dum-bum.
All right. So then we should
So
get
we're
ready
not
for
in a
this
ru-
gathering.
I got time to eat some funnel cake, is what you're telling me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely getting in on that.
Here, Tarathi, I'll say I needed the carbs.
Spetro, have you ever had a turkey leg?
Not in many years.
Let's see if we can find one.
I grab it, and it's like the size of this mic. This tiny little guy, like.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
So Alma comes back to the Drunken Morkoth. You guys are sitting around kind of waiting for her to do her thing. And as she comes in, you can hear audibly down the road, several blocks away, a loud cheer erupt. As though something, it's been loud. It's been like a game day, right? You ever been to a college football game
Nope.
where it's
Nope.
just like loud and boisterous, and there's people just having a good time and doing things, and then all of a sudden kickoff, and the whole place just goes deafening. That's kind of the feeling you have. Something has just occurred down at the the courthouse, and I'm a PR firm.
What?
And we will find out exactly what is so
Can't see the
exciting
chat.
next week. We'll pick back up there
Ooh.
and see what's happening.
Catch you then.
Adkins.
Welcome aboard, Adkins.
Yes, exactly.
Hey,
Welcome
thanks.
aboard.
Yay.
Love to have you. You are amazing. Oh, by the way, would you like to plug a little bit about what you've been doing with Adam?
Sure. Adam and I, we have a couple of podcasts, kind of. It's like 1.5 pods right now. AMP, the Almighty Podcast, covers My Hero Academia, and that's bi-weekly, every other Monday. We just had an episode released today. And then we also have Kaio Cinema, which currently is on a little bit of a break because of some life stuff. But we've been watching all of the Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super movies in release order. And reviewing those. That's been super fun. We've covered multiple live action movies already, and we haven't even got to Dragon Ball Evolution. So it's wild. There are some
What?
like Korean unofficial movies that are they're golden. They're fantastic.
Third party DBZ.
Yes, unlicensed, like low budget Korean like adaptations of the first arc of Dragon Ball that are phenomenal. Like must sees if you're at all familiar with Dragon Ball, because that's what that stuff covers. But yeah,
Wow.
super fun. Almighty is our main jam, though.
And he's on our Discord. He's on the Back Patio Network Discord. You've got a really big following. Like the last, I want to say, dozen people that have joined Discord have been to come see and talk to you guys. So it's a great show.
I don't know that they're talking to us. They're lurking, but they do pop in,
Yeah.
and I harass them on the podcast. But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little side project that we do, and the people seem to listen for reasons that are beyond me. So
Well,
Yep.
cool. Glad to have you, and we'll see you back next Monday, 9 p.m.
I'll be here.
All right. Thanks everybody for coming.
See you guys.
See y'all.
And I'll
Thanks for having me.
fire the outro for real this time.
Ooh.